Yeah,
exactly.
Fernando's this one.
I'm kind of going bold on this one.
Woo.
I'm gonna go Brandon Staley.
I love how this scumbag doesn't say anything for you about being a homer. God forbid I went to the Chargers.
I have logic behind it.
I respect Fernando as a reporter.
I'm a
Okay,
I had nothing. All right.
No.
no.
Yours is good, but it's just a repeat. So the reason why I'm going Brandon Staley is because I feel like your offensive and defensive coordinator. Well, offensive coordinator, you got Kellen Moore. If that offense is exactly what it's billed to be, then that offense is going to be high powered. Now on defense, they kind of have made the necessary moves to put it together. Now it's can they stay healthy? Going into the season so far, Dan, I'll do this for you. Knock on wood, they are healthy going into this year. So it's can you stay healthy? Can you avoid mistakes? And early on, I mean, they have a favorable schedule. If they can start the season off, I don't know, before they get into their hard stretch, 5-2, 6-1, even I don't even know. Not 4-3. You have to be 5-2 or something like that. But if they can get off to a hot start, the way they usually do, because Gilbert, we know they usually start off 4-2. They kind of start off on a good place the first 2 years of Staley, but they've been 9-8, 10-7. I expect it to be maybe even more this year. I think Brandon Staley went from a hero in 2021, the new age, the new coach, the new this, to hated last year. And even last year, I couldn't believe the stupidity that was coming out of some of these pundits' mouths. They were like, oh, Brandon Staley's a guy that goes for it on every single fourth down. He barely even went for it last year. You could tell his mentality changed a little bit. I think because the pressure kind of got to him a little bit. But I think Brandon, because on the busting with the boys, I know I'm going off, but Keenan Allen and Mike Williams were asked, hey, how do you guys feel about going for it on fourth down? He's like, are you kidding with the kind of offense we have with Justin Herbert and us? We want to go for it. That's our mentality. We had to beg them last year to go for it on certain opportunities because we feel like we have the team to go for it and get it. And they're like, oh, really? They're like, hell yeah, we want to go for it. We don't want the ball to depend on somebody else. We want to be able to go for it and win it. So I think Brandon Staley kind of jumps back into favor in the NFL and he wins coach of the year. And he wins comeback coach of the year. And he wins coach of the year as well. But I think he gets back into favor with people because I really do think that they're going to be better than what people expect. They're not really being talked about all that much, I think. And I feel like that's kind of better for them when they're not. Nobody's talking about them because obviously they didn't make any moves in free agency except for bringing Eric Kendrick. So,
but for Fernando, I feel like that one thing that might hurt them if the offense goes off, who's going to get the credit? Kellen Moore, I feel like.
But
he needs to have a really dominant defense, I feel like.
That's the thing. And it looks like they do have the playmakers. I mean, honestly, it kind of feels like Thule and I really think that this defense is going to depend on Thule and Rumph a lot. Like, can you spell Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack? Can you guys be impact players? Last year we saw it, Gilbert. Like, these guys did not have an impact. There was no pass rushing impact besides Khalil Mack, and it's like, okay, now can you guys be impact? Thule looks like the real deal. I mean, I saw him a couple of times with the Saints, and he was getting back there. He was gaining pressure. Morgan Fox, I thought, was very underrated last year. I think he's had a good start. So I think they're going to be better against the run. The only thing is, can you now take that next step on your defense? And it seems like they kind of do have some good pieces, but I'm just kind of going off of what I've seen the first 3 years, and every year they improve slowly with Brandon Staley. So I think, and honestly, Gilbert, he hasn't lost the locker room, and that's important. Even during the tough times of the last 2 seasons, he has not lost the locker room at any point. So I have to give him a big credit for that. But I agree with you. Now thinking about it, I agree with you too. I think Kellen Moore will get the credit if it's just the offense. So if it's the defense as well, then he's going to get the full-on credit. But the offense and the defense need to be clicking. Because special teams, we already saw last year, Gilbert, they were the best special teams in the NFL. So if you can have a top 5 offense, top 5 special teams, and you can have a top 15 defense, I think you're honestly going to be on a good pace.
I have one question for you. My only concern with him is will he go back to being aggressive like he was? Because I think you missed that last season. Now, do you think he'll actually do it?
it sounds like they are like sounds like the players are really pushing him to go back to that. I guess I'm gonna have to now. I was actually gonna wait till next week to ask him about all that, but I mean, I guess I'll ask him on
What it could have been also,
I
he
want
might
to
have
see.
just lost faith in Lombardi last season at some point.
That is true as well. But I mean, in certain situations,
play.
Like how many times? Like there was a couple of times where they like that one play call against the Raiders in Las Vegas when it was 4th and 2 or 4th and 1.
Yeah,
and backed up in your own end zone, and you decided to run it up the middle with Austin Eckler. I was like, whoa. You have Keenan Allen, you have Mike, you have Palmer. Like, why wouldn't you just?
More importantly, you have the son of Odin. The son.
Like, so I guess I mean I really think
wasn't
that
it Joshua Kelly, but I forget. But
no, it was Austin Eckler.
But yeah,
no, remember Austin Eckler in that game played almost every single snap.
Yeah.
They just didn't trust any other running back besides him. So, but
one thing I'll tell you, I hope the beard is starting to signal. You know, 1 year he was loved, 1 year he was hated. Let's start the villain arc, baby. The villain origin story is starting now.
And you know what's funny? And
this
is a little insight that I saw today. Brandon, after practice, was shooting the crap with Keenan, with Mike, and with some other guys. He challenged them to a crossbar challenge. Ooh. So the guys were throwing the football. They were trying to nail the crossbar. And one of those, I just hear somebody yelp out like they got injured. And I turn around, Mike Williams on the ground. I'm like, whoa. And he was like laughing because he was pissed because he had missed the crossbar, I guess, by that much. But Brandon was having fun with those guys. And I'm telling you, like, when you see that kind of stuff, you're like, okay, you can tell they still enjoy. They're
building that chemistry. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's going to go a huge way for these guys. I mean, especially moving forward in this season. So I know it's a little bit of a bold prediction, but if you kind of see the kind of way they've gone, it seems like this year they should be able to take that next step forward, especially with Kellen Moore there. And that's another reason why I think Russell Wilson's going to get benched too. Joe Lombardi's there as the offensive coordinator. So, but his offense kind of fits what old coach or quarterback who maybe has no more arm or athleticism.
Okay, move on.
So. Okay, but let's go now to offensive player of the year. Wait, actually, no. I have to ask you. So what? So you think what do you think about that?
About your take?
Yeah.
I think it's a little out there.
Okay, I thought so too.
I think the Kellen Moore thing is gonna unfortunately take some shine off him because.
But you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, like I think they're gonna be a good team, and we'll get into it more next week. But I think the Chargers are gonna be in a good position. And so the one thing that you got to do to get this award is to win games. If you can do that, then you're gonna be in the conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Never mind. I was gonna say, can you imagine if hey,
they need to win the division. They're like, if you win the division over the Chiefs and you knock the Chiefs streak off, that's what they need to do for him to get Coach of the Year.
That's why I put like when I did the schedule for the Chargers, I'm like that last game of the season and all like in a perfect world, that last game of the season's on Sunday Night Football. It's for the division, Chargers versus Chiefs. Sunday Night Football, Mahomes versus Herbert, who wins it? And I'm like, but in all reality, this will probably be the Chiefs rest everybody and see what happens. But I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. But